Okay, let's see. Macintosh applications, emulator. Emulators. And let's see if I've got RetroArch, not the other one, RetroArch. Okay, so let's hope I'm able to, there we go. Scan directory, I'm hoping that I have manual scan, yeah. Oh, this actually has different settings, input, retropad blinds, port 1 control, yeah, and let me see, D-pad up is this one, and D-pad down is that one. Okay, yes, I'm using this wired PlayStation 5 controller. So I just have to map it once. And then it'll be alright, I guess. Select. You would think it'll auto-map, but no, it doesn't. Shoulder buttons are there, the bumpers. Right shoulder button, the other one. And then the trigger. And then the other one. Oops, no, that's the wrong one. It left trigger, right trigger. Yeah. Pressing down the thumbstick is actually quite a thing. Okay, so left analog, Y is up. Okay. X is -1. And I think these might be, this is left, so this is, these are correct. And the analog up, these are different. Up, up, down, different names for the axes, left, and right. Yeah, these are correct. So let's save these. Configuration, save on exits. Configuration file, save current configuration. Now, ST and Amiga seem to have been loaded, but let's import some more content. Manual scan content directory. Now, I hope Videopac is on there. It's not. I'm going to edit. Yeah, I'm going to edit. So let's get out of here. Okay, because I just downloaded something. And yeah, Videopac needs to be on there. Why isn't Videopac on here? This is just an omission of a grand scale. Okay. Let me see. No good. Videopac and Videopac plus RAR. So let's extract this. Ah, it goes. Yeah. So that I have to select them all. Copy, paste. Oh gosh, yeah. And this is the this is something I got off archive.org. So, and yeah, I've got a CRT and I do have the Odyssey, but I haven't got it out. So, yeah, it's the Odyssey and the Atari 2600 and the Mister that I've hooked up over my CRT. But let's see, this is extracting. There may be some games. Let me see. And they're all subdirectories, which is interesting. Giuseppe. It's like Super Mario, probably. Okay, so these are a lot of these. Yeah, and then the Philips Videopac.rar. RAR. That's not what I want. Open with Keka. Keka. That's an unrar thing. Yeah, and I believe this is the one that has them all. So this goes, and this goes, and this is just a couple of plus. So if I just do it like this, have an asterisk in front of it or an underscore, it may go to the top. Yeah, so it's easy to gauge. Let's run RetroArch again. So, import content, manual scan, content directory. So it's Amiga, Commodore 64. Scan this directory. System name is Commodore 64. It's gonna be default core is the probably the Vice. We have Vice Accurate. I think that's the best one. File extensions. Scan recursively. Scan inside archive. Yeah. So start scan. And I think there are still zips in there, so it does go inside of the zips, which is good. And there's CRTs, there's tape files, there's demos, disc games. So yeah, it's gonna be it's probably gonna be a horrible selection without any. Let me see. This is the GameCube. So let's see, Nintendo GameCube. Nintendo GameCube. I'm not sure if there's a core for it on the Mac, but Nintendo GameCube. Yeah, there is actually. Ooh, that's interesting. There's Shiruka. Let's go with Dolphin. So actually, I've learned to appreciate RetroArch actually more than I used to. Genesis, system name Sega Genesis, Sega Mega Drive, Genesis, and Sega because it really is a very nice way to, let me see, I think the pick a drive or the Genesis Plus GX or GX Wide, yeah, so let's scan, and of course a lot of the subdirectories with all the games listed with genre and publication and that sort of thing that actually gets lost when you scan it in like this. You can actually, it does multi-thread, so N3DS, interesting. So that's Nintendo, I guess, Nintendo 3DS. Not sure if there's, yeah, digital, why not? Nintendo 3DS. I don't think there is actually. No, there isn't. Okay, so NDS there is. So we go to the Nintendo DS or DSi, and then select the Nintendo DS. Melon DS, the Sumi. I think Melon is actually the better one. You can change that around, but and the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, I still find myself quite partial to, let me see, what's the best one? I think FCE UMM, that's a very compatible one. Oops. And I'm curious if there's the disk system, the PlayStation 2. There is actually this PlayStation 2 core for the I'm not sure if that's on the Mac actually. Sony PlayStation 2 might not be. No, on PC there actually is. So let's do PlayStation Portable. Yeah, just PlayStation Portable. And go to the PSP. And then Sony PSP. Sony PlayStation Portable. And then just start scan and then go to the PlayStation. Sony PlayStation, and then the Swan Station or the Duck Station, but the Swan Station is probably the closest to a solid emulation experience. There is some drama behind Duck Station and RetroArch that I'm not familiar with completely, but yeah. Sega Saturn, and there's a whole plethora of emulators to choose from, at least on the Yaboos or Beetle Saturn. Let's check out Beetle because that might actually be more compatible. Yaboos is faster, but we'll see. Sega Dreamcast. Scan this directory. Sega Dreamcast. Flycast. It's a good one. Sega Dreamcast, and then the Super Nintendo, Super Nintendo, no, Nintendo, Super Famicom, and Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And oh, we got a ton of emulators for that. I think I'm actually quite partial to BNS. And SNES 9X is actually the one. The Huygen accuracy is also on. Let's go for this one. Let's see how that works. No, do prefer the Videopac. Let's check that out. Scan. That's what we all came for. Videopac Plus. Default core is Videopac. Yeah, I think we have to go for the Magnavox Odyssey because let's probably start on there. Yeah, like so, and then we'll just start the scan. Whoops, that's fast. What else do we have? We have got the Wii. Scan this directory. Nintendo. Wii. Digital, yeah. Digital and oh gosh, the Wii Digital, Nintendo Wii. What I like about RetroArch is that it actually gives you a more or less uniform way to access your games from a single interface, which is nice. Also, the fact that all the emulators actually are turned into cores is a nice thing, but also Xbox is not a, so if we go to Videopac now, we if things are correct, we've got a ton of games now. Air on the End, I'm not sure what this all is. Activision Prototype, Air Battle, Alien Invaders, plus a mock and Armand Encounter. So yeah, I'm actually Attack of the Time Lord. Yeah. Failed to load content. Why is that? Did I select a proper? Did I select a proper? Sorry about that. Videopac, Attack of the Time Lord. Failed to load content. What is this? Why is this not running? Is there other stuff running? Failed to open the retro core. Okay, perhaps not all the cores are there. So main menu, online updater, core updater settings, latest, show experimental cores, yeah, I want them. Core info files, update assets, update controller profiles, update databases, overlay, core system file downloaders, Blue MSX, just to be sure. Like so, and update installed cores, Final Core and Alpha, Arcade, main, oh, and I can multitask. So if I go here, I'll see like the Acorn actually wasn't there yet. Arcade Dice, I'm not sure what that is. So most of the cores actually have downloaded. Oh, Galaxy Pro. Oh, that's yeah, that's I believe a Russian computer, an 8-bit computer, Z80 based, I believe. I may be mistaken, but this, the gear graphics, that's interesting. It's a new one. And this, the 3DS Pan. Oh, there is a 3DS emulator. The Game Boy Color, Fix GB, and then we have the Beetle GBA, and we've got the Beetle SNES, BSNES C++ 98. And here we have Xemu. Oh, that's interesting. And the ROM cleaner, not sure what that is. Come, no. It's there already. And this, the PlayStation 2. Oh, play. Oh, that's interesting. So there may actually be a possibility to play the PlayStation. So if I go and add content, and I go to PlayStation 2 and I scan the directory and I go to Sony PlayStation 2 and I select Sony Play. This is an interesting emulator because it doesn't use any BIOS files and it just runs. And it's actually getting quite good. And I like it when it works like this. And then Nintendo 3DS. So N3DS, scan this directory, system name, Nintendo 3DS, and then Nintendo 3DS. And we've got this panda thing. Not sure what this is all about, but yeah. So, explore. Main menu, load content, and let's go to the start directory and go to Videopac. And let's see what happens if I select this one. Oh, it's zip files. Oh, that could be an issue. Killer bees, load archives, and then Magnavox Odyssey. Failed to load content. Ah, so there's zip files. Ah, okay. So that may be an issue. Commodore 64. Yeah, this is this is many games. 1942. What's this? Yeah, and I don't need the touch screen actually. What the hell? This is, why is there a touch screen? Oh man, run. Oh, and I can't even type? That is weird. That is just insane. I really don't like that actually. Aqua GT, run. Yeah, this touch interface is, there's no need for this touch interface. Really, there's not. Let me see, how can we, yeah. Close content. Okay. Settings, video, user interface, on-screen overlay, display, nope. On-screen controls, I need to have that. Physical controller, hide overlay when controller is connected, yeah. So there shouldn't be any overlay, so load content, start directory, Commodore 64, demos, D64, and VQ Mania, and then accurate. So it actually has the disk drive sounds and no overlay, which is good. This really sounds like a 1541. Now I wonder, it really sounds like it's having different noises for different tracks. Is the sound just a WAV file of a 1541 doing its thing, or is this actually an audio representation of 1541 actually doing its thing, because it really sounds authentic. course, this takes forever because it's authentic. On the Commodore 64, even loading from disk was, well, slow. Yeah, I guess fast loading or installing Dolphin. Ah, there it is. Now, can I type? No, I can't. No. So there may be a way to. Ah, so I type run, and then yeah, and then get rid of the. Well, for handhelds, you know, these Android handhelds, this is actually excellent. You know, you can actually use oops, the emulator. Algothic. Seems like a something. I'm actually afraid this may actually be rated R stuff. So let's go and see if the GameCube failed to open the libretto core. So probably this is using a. Why doesn't it work? Main menu, load. Main menu, load content. No, main menu. So these are the contentless cores. Amiga does have a Terahawks port for it, I believe, but probably not in here. No. But time gal AGA. Oh, Kickstarter is not found, so it's probably gonna fail. Oh. Not sure what this is, but WHD load. Oh, this is just the, yeah, it's not, I figured, yeah, let's work it out, let's use it, buggy heat. Oh, and it drops out. Yeah, it still needs quite a fair bit of work. Xemu then. Now I must say this is a universal binary, but it's not as fast on ARM as it is on Intel. I would not buy a MacMini M1. Is this still RetroArch? Yeah. Championship. In order to replace your Xbox. Let's see if I can have the debug information on screen. So this would be a solid 60 frames per second on any Windows machine or Linux machine, but this is actually just, yeah, it's not doing it. So Xbox on the M1, no, it's not one that actually works that well. Let me see, there may be some applications, DOS games, Mac Classic. Oh, yeah, this is interesting. These, DodonPachi Macs, these are actually applications that are iPad applications, touchscreen, that you can actually run with your mouse.
Select your battleship.
I believe they run on the M1 MacMini, but they don't run on the iPad anymore, I believe. I'm not sure, but But yeah, it actually works quite nice. Just avoid the perfect bullet hell thing. But it's a very abstract sort of DodonPachi. And because positioning is absolute, using your finger or the mouse is actually quite precise. But it's easier to navigate around the bullet hell. Let's go that way. But of course you can still get trapped into a position where you're not able to get out of. Whoa, this is oh, it actually dies. Yeah. So actually you do have access to a few iPad games and applications actually on the M1 MacMini. So let's quit this, and then the other one, the DodonPachi R. Yeah, there it is. So this will probably have a more allow. Yep. Smartphone. Game starts. Next. So instead of your finger, you'll use your mouse.
Select ship for deployment.
Yeah, this is the one. Select.
Exiting jump gate. Be on alert.
All right. So.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go. So let's see how this goes. I'm not sure how to access the bombs. Probably have to let go of that's a bit of a multitask touch feature. But it's actually quite weird playing these games with the touch controls because you have this absolute positioning which makes them easier and tougher. You really get to move out of the way quite quickly, so it's you know, there's always this this delay when you are playing a shooter with a more default classical control scheme. I do believe there's probably some sort of shield or hit point because it seems to be quite forgiving. Yeah, there's a shield. I guess that's the one, the shield. Can I do a bomb? Yeah, I can do a bomb, but I have to let go of the just quickly move towards the let go of the ship and then just move. Oh crap.
Are you ready?
This actually works quite nice. Oh. Yeah.
Are you ready?
I am ready. and then it kicks out. So yeah. Do we have some other? No, this is the HD one. That's this one. Whoop. So it quitted unexpectedly. Was yeah. So emulation. So we got some games, but the applications, DOS games. Oh yeah, these are the DOS of the game box games. These are the interface boxer games, and they actually provide for the Mac average Mac user that has no clue what the DOS games are about. You actually get a very nice clickable icon that actually has the emulator and all the files for that specific game builder. And this actually does quite well. So yeah, that's a very nice thing. DOSBox X, that's interesting because DOSBox X is a more command line, more old-fashioned version of DOSBox, but it's also more advanced, so it is actually possible to have Voodoo emulation going. So if I boot this with the config file, that should be here, DOSBox X, the config file, preferences, I guess it's this one. Boot Windows 98, choose, and it'll, if things go well, it actually boots into Windows 98. So let's enlarge that. Hopefully it'll capture my mouse. Yep, there it is. So, and it's actually quite fast. Wicked GL, I'm not sure what this actually is. Might be an OpenGL. Yeah, it might be an OpenGL thing to use with your Voodoo 1 because DOSBox only supports Voodoo 1, I believe. So I'm not sure if actually no, it's not installed. I don't think these games will actually, if these will actually run, because yeah, they're not compatible with so let's get rid of those. That's weird, but it can't find it, so it's probably gone, so delete. Games, there's a ton of games. Electronic Arts, Need for Speed, Microsoft Games, Pinball Arcade, Trial, Sega Rally, Controller, Windows Games, Heretic, Hexen. Yeah, I will have to redefine. There it is. So somehow the MIDI sound is not working. That's interesting because let's check what the MIDI actually is. Multimedia, wave out, MIDI is sound lost and MIDI out. So there may be some sort of wavetable thing going on. Let's go check out Explorer, Games, program files. Yeah, where are those? Program files. Oh, program files. Where's Hexen? Multimedia. Oh, games. Hexen. And then run the setup. The setup, which already has a shortcut, but let's do the setup. Choose the music sound card. General MIDI, 330. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, this is stretched out. It's a widescreen, but it's actually possible to now one does have to be careful because if you use certain, yeah, you have to how do you say that? Make sure that you don't have any hotkeys, macOS hotkeys active. Yeah, so this is DOSBox, and actually it works pretty nicely. Let me see what else. Games. Midtown Madness, Arcade, Roll Cage 3DFX. Yeah, it could actually be that I have Voodoo 1 emulation going. Oh yeah, there is actually, but it's upside down and it doesn't scale properly, but okay. In theory, there's actually something that should work, but yeah, it's not as compatible as you would like it to be, at least the one that I'm trying. What is actually quite compatible is Parallels. And this is version 20, and it allows you to, and this is the default, this is the basic version, and it only does 4 cores and just a limited amount of VRAM, but it's enough for basic gaming. Let me see. I have to log in with my with my PIN, like so. And I was showing you 3D Mark, and but let's go with the Valley. Let's see how fast that actually runs. So resolution is system resolution, DirectX 11, and just press, and it's full screen. Yeah. So let's see how fast it'll actually run. I'm running OBS in the background, capturing my voice. So yeah. It's not fast, is it? No, single digits or double digits. Yeah, let's do it like 720p. Okay, it'll be a lot faster, I think. Let's see if, yeah. And I might add that using OBS to capture really with this base model M1 MacMini, you know, it sort of struggles, but if you dial down the the quality or the resolution, you may actually be able to get some decent performance. But again, this does all the fancy graphics that you'll find in DirectX 11. So this is not bad. What's quite interesting is that Maps, the Apple Maps application that I'm using, doesn't have the proper home address suddenly, which is weird. Home. Yeah, not that one. Just that is not home. That is multiple homes, and it really gets confused because this is not home. This is other. We. Because home is home, and this. Oops. Edits. All these double entries, which is weird. Yeah, like so. I guess now the home mix-up won't happen again. But I was hoping Elise was sharing her travels, but she's not actually. Oh, last time she forgot as well, but now she forgets again. So well, I'll welcome her with open arms the moment she gets home. But yeah, this is not the best experience, right? So, and then heaven. Let's make that full screen. Yeah, but resolution 720p, like so. Let's check it out. I'm using Parallels on a 2014 MacMini, which only has 4 gigabytes of RAM, but I'm using an older version of Parallels that actually does a mean Windows XP. And, oh, this is actually quite good, 720p. It really does a very good Windows XP, and I'm actually able to play Halo on it, the Windows version of Halo, quite nicely. So actually for me, apart from my real system, my 2014 Mac Mini actually is, oh, this is actually, I'm not sure what setting it actually has. Refraction, this is actually quite good. The other one may actually be extreme or something like that, because actually that performs a lot lower. Preset, custom, high, ultra resolution, 720p. Let's see what that does. Yeah, 34. That's better than it was before. There may be some processes going on in the background that sort of, oh no, it dips down. But if you go to basic, quality, high, medium, and has to reboot. No, it doesn't really matter, does it? So if we go to ultra, it's just as fast. Oh, it's actually faster. Or perhaps in this scene, it's faster. Let's see, because we can go into Steam and have a game. And Elise, she left. Yeah, she's not sharing her route, so I don't know when she'll be home. Yeah, OBS is a pain in the ass. Let me see. So I'm using the Xbox. Yeah, the Xbox controller. I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm not pressing anything. So there's this. There. Don't ask again. Ask each time, whatever. So yeah, there's something laggy going on. There may be some, I may actually not have closed a browser or whatever, because this is actually the base model M1 MacMini, which is actually a lot more anemic than the base model the base model M4, which I also have, performance test. That actually gives a very nice so 720p, so it's not very consistent. Yeah, capturing this with OBS, 60 frames per second, at the default screen resolution really doesn't do the gaming performance and the Windows 11 ARM performance justice. So you really need to use an external capture card for that, I guess. Let me see, menu, power, exit. Dolphin emulation, oh, install update. So this actually is the ARM version. So yeah, what's the point of running an emulator with an emulator, I hear you say? Well, it's actually quite interesting to check out the ARM version of Dolphin on Windows ARM. I don't think Redream is using the Microsoft equivalent to Rosetta, and Rosetta actually is capable of running the Intel emulation or the x86 code at a higher frequency. I believe it's 2.5, whereas the Intel implementation on Windows parallels tops out at 1.5 gigahertz, but that may also be just a guesstimate, I'm not sure. But and let's install that. The ARM64 runtime, so there is special ARM runtime also. And I must say I'm actually amazed by how flexible Windows 11 ARM is and what actually runs on it. Let me see, controllers standard. Oh yeah, it's mapped correctly, so that's nice. We just have to add we have to add the paths, and the paths are different now. Let me see, Macintosh NVMe, that's the one. Emulation, game. Yep, there it is. So I remove that one, but also add NVMe. I add the week. So let me see if Need for Speed Hot Pursuit actually works. Now I will turn off the volume for now because there's music involved. And using this emulator on the macOS side, it's not full speed, this game, and it struggles. And I'm quite curious if the game, or if the emulator is actually so optimized that under Windows ARM it actually is full speed. I don't think so, but it's actually quite interesting to check whether or not this actually is the case. It would be quite something, but that would mean that the ARM code is actually very efficient. And I believe Parallels is a hypervisor, so it actually is as close to the metal that you can get with Windows ARMs at the moment. It would be cool to just install Windows ARM natively. This is not full speed. No. Yeah. It would be cool to see what happens if you run. Yeah, this is not full speed, but this is about as. This is actually worse than what you get. Let me see. Let's quit this and let's get out of Windows ARM. Yeah, you can might actually hear a ton of birds, and you also might hear this noise, which is my new couch, which can be quite noisy if you move around a bit. But yeah, that's just one of those things. Applications, emulator, oops, emulators, dolphin. And I have to configure the controllers. PS4 controller, no. So it, oh, yeah, that's the thing. It could be that I have to take it out, put it in. There it is. And then I say GameCube controller, standard controller, configure, and then no, it doesn't want to recognize it. Okay, so that's interesting. It could be the fact that Parallels doesn't free the controller. It also could be the fact that I'm using it plugged in and not over Bluetooth. So this is OBS. Hi there. Yeah, let's see what actually comes of this movie, came of this movie. Might not be interesting at all. Oh, VLC is running, and the browser is running. Yeah, those things can actually, with the low amount of memory, it could actually be quite a bit of a thing. But yes, emulators, OBS. Yeah, let's turn it off. So yeah, the Mac Mini really is. M1 MacMini really is a bit anemic. It was a great system when it came out, but for many of the emulators and stuff, they all moved on and probably are using better emulators or counting on you know the M2 or the all the bigger chips. And I have this base model Mac Mini. Interesting times still, and it's a great little device to use when it's hot. Oh, and you may actually see the temperature. It's 27 degrees here in this game room. Yeah, ever since moving here at the end of the afternoon, the sun streams in. I drink a lot, but yeah, I really have gotten used to high temperatures, summer temperatures. I don't have an AC in the game room, but it's not always as comfortable. You really have to drink a lot of water to keep hydrated because, man, it gets hot here. 27, 28, actually, when it's 35 outside, 28 is about as hot as it gets. And outside it's not actually that warm, it's 23, so the house actually contains keeps a lot of the heat, and you can ventilate, open up the windows, but yeah, it's always lagging behind. Anyways, let's check out what this 1 hour and 5 minute video actually amounts to. It's eclectic, maybe interesting, might not be. Let's check it out.